you just might have heard that there's a production of a 19th century semi-operatic event going on in Austin, and it's presented by the Gilbert and Sullivan Society, and Ralph MacPhail here is going to tell you all about it. So good morning, Rafe.
Good morning, John. We're very excited about Ruddigore, a parody of 19th century melodrama, which was written right at the height of the Gilbert and Sullivan collaboration. In fact, a long-running and still selling out production of The Mikado was taken off the stage at the Savoy Theater in 1887 to make room for this new and original supernatural opera.
Supernatural.
Oh,
well, then
yes.
Everybody will love it.
Well, it's a combination of a ghost story and a Victorian romance. And Gilbert had a lot of fun sending up the conventions of mid-19th century melodrama with dastardly aristocrats, pure as the driven snow heroines, mad ladies in the village, and all of the sorts of conventions that made melodrama a dominant dramatic form.
Dudley Do-Right to the rescue.
Exactly. That's the latter-day incarnation.
Okay, so let's have some of the music that's associated with this production, and we've got a lot of people to call upon. So who do we have first?
Well, we're going to
or
start.
whom do we have
Whom?
first?
We're going to start with Corinna Browning, who is our Rose Maybud. She is the heroine of the piece, and she was a foundling. She was found on the knocker of the workhouse door in a plated dish cover at a young age, with nothing in her possession except a change of baby linen and a book of etiquette. And in her Act 1 aria, she explains how this book of etiquette has been her guide through her young life.
If somebody that chanced to be, who loved me in a manner true, my heart would point him out to me, and I would point him out to you. But here it says of those who point, their manners must be out of joint. You may not point, you must not point, it's manners out of joint to point. Had I the love of such as he, some quiet spot he'd take me to, then he could whisper into me, and I could whisper into you. But whispering I've somewhere met is contrary to etiquette. Where can it be? Now let me see. Yes, yes, it's contrary to etiquette. If any urban youth I knew, polite and gentle, neat and trim, then I would hint as much to you, and you could hint as much to him. But here it says in plainest print, it's most unladylike to hint. You may not hint, you must not hint. It says you mustn't hint in print. And if I loved him through and through, true love and not a passing whim, then I could speak of it to you, and you could speak of it to him. But here I find it doesn't do to speak until you're spoken to. Where can it be? Now let me see. Yes, yes, don't speak until you're spoken to.
That was just perfect. or almost perfect. I mean, nothing's perfect, but that was just gorgeous. And she is a classic Gilbert and Sullivan soprano.
Absolutely.
Absolutely perfect for the role. And her name is Corinna Browning, and just lovely in all respects. The tone was just really, really wide open and perfect, and clarity, all that. So anyway, I can't say enough about how much I liked her. So who else do you have with you today?
Well, we also have the young man that Rose May Budd is in love with.
Now, was Corinna playing the part of Corinna was playing the part of
Rose May Budd, yes,
Okay.
or she calls herself Sweet Rose May Budd.
Well, she
Because
is.
she is, after all, a melodramatic heroine.
Yes.
And she's in love with a young farmer named Robin Oakapple. Now, he has a backstory, too. He's actually the wicked baronet of Ruddigore, the eldest of the family, but to avoid the family's curse, which says that he must commit a crime a day or will perish in inconceivable agony, he disguises himself and leaves the baronetcy to his younger brother. Now, Robin is very shy, and it's not at all surprising he wouldn't like to carry out this curse with his personality. And Rose is shy, too. She's, after all, a young lady, and she can't declare her affection for him. And we have a lovely duet in Act 1, in which they try to express their affection for one another, and it doesn't work out very well.
Who loves a little maid, hey, but his face is a sight for to see. Silent is he, for he's modest and afraid, hey, but he's timid as a youth can be.
I know a maid who loves a gallant youth, hey, but she sickens as the days go by. She cannot tell him all the sad, sad truth, hey, but I think that little maid will die.
Poor little man,
Poor little maid,
poor little man.
poor little maid.
Now tell me, pray, and tell me true, what in the world should the young man do? He cannot eat and he cannot sleep, hey, but his face is a sight for to see. Daily he goes for to wail, for to weep, hey, but he's wretched as a youth can be.
She's very thin and she's very pale, hey, but she sickens as the days go by. Daily she goes for to weep, for to wail, hey, but I think that little maid will die.
Poor little maid,
Poor little man,
poor little maid.
poor little man.
Now tell me, pray, and tell me true, what in the world should the young man do?
If I were the youth, I should offer her my name, hey, but her face is a sight for to see.
If I were the maid, I should fan his honest flame, hey, but he's bashful as a youth can be.
If I were the maid, I should speak to her today, but she sickens as the days go by.
If I were the maid, I should meet the lad halfway, for I really do believe that timid youth will die.
Poor little man,
Poor little maid,
poor little man.
poor little maid. I thank you, miss, for your counsel true. I'll tell that maid what he ought to do.
Arthur DiBianca and Corinna Browning as the maid. And a delightful little duet, but they didn't really seem to lock joints at the end of the song. So anyway, the cast is here from the play Ruddigore. It's an operetta by Gilbert and Sullivan, and it's going to be done where and for how long, and starting on the...
We have 9 performances at the Worley Barton Theater at Brentwood Christian School. It runs starting this weekend on Thursday night, and with 4 performances, including a Sunday matinee on Father's Day. And then we have Thursday through Saturday night the following week, with matinees at 2 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. And so you've got lots of chances to see the show, and if you want more information, you can go to Gilbert and Sullivan Society for information.
Right, gilbertsullivan.org.
Okay, now this guy with the big mustache, are we going to hear from him at all today?
Well, he is Riven's younger brother, and
now who's Riven?
Riven is, he's the one that's disguised as Robin O'Gapple, the eldest Baronet of Ruddigore. I know, we're going to try to stay away from plot, but I do need to say that toward the end of Act 1, Richard Dauntless, a man-o'-war's man, another staple of melodrama, a sailor who talks with all sorts of funny nautical diction, reveals to the current baronet that his older brother actually lives, so he is revealed. So Riven has to become the Baronet of Ruddigore again. In Act 2, the baronet has now become a respectable citizen, and Mad Margaret, the village maiden who is insane over love, has now trying to reform her ways. And so they enter dressed in sober black and explain that they once were very abandoned people, but they put that all behind them now.
Once was a very abandoned person,
making the most of evil chances.
Nobody could conceive a worsen,
even in all the old romances.
I blush for my wild extravagances, but be so kind to bear in mind
we were the victims of circumstances. That is one of our blameless dances. I was once an exceedingly odd young lady,
suffering much from spleen and vapors.
Clergymen thought my conduct shady.
She didn't spend much upon linen drapers.
It certainly entertained the keepers. My ways were strange beyond our range.
Paragraphs got into all the papers. We only cut respectable capers. I've given up all my wild proceedings.
My taste for a wandering life is waning.
Now I'm a dab at penny readings.
They are not remarkably entertaining.
A moderate livelihood we're gaining.
In fact, we rule a national school.
The duties are dull, but I'm not complaining.
This sort of thing takes a deal of training.
And a wonderful mezzo-soprano voice there. We rarely hear a true mezzo, but I think she's definitely a real-life mezzo. And she's wonderful, and her name is Shelby Schisler.
And she has a wonderful recitative and aria in Act One as a maiden, jilted in love, with one of Gilbert's most poignant and serious lyrics.
And Sam Johnson is our bass baritone with his mustache complementing his longhorn on his burnt orange sweatshirt or t-shirt. And so thank you, Sam. It's really nice. And our pianist is Jeanne Sasaki, and she's just having so much fun over there at the piano. And so, what do we hear next? Wait, Gilbert and Sullivan's Ruddigore is what we're listening to, and you can catch it this weekend and next weekend at the Worley Barton something or another.
Theater at Brentwood Christian School in North Lamar.
Okay. So what's next?
Well, if that duet was very funny in terms of what goes on physically, Gilbert pulls something out of the hat right after with a patter trio. We know that Gilbert's well known for his patter lyrics, but I don't think anywhere else in Gilbert and Sullivan is there a patter trio, and certainly one that goes as fast as this. Riven decides that he's going to defy his ancestors and refuse to commit his daily crime. Mad Margaret comments on her passing lunacy, and also Despard reflects on his relationship with his brother in words that go by an absolute mile a minute.
My eyes are fully open to my awful situation. I shall go at once to Roderick and make him an oration. I shall tell him I've recovered my forgotten moral senses, and I don't get up and say penny for any consequences. Now I do not want to perish by the sword or by the dagger, but a martyr may indulge a little pardonable swagger, and a word or two of compliment my vanity would flatter. But I've got to die tomorrow, so it really doesn't matter.
So it really doesn't matter,
So it really doesn't matter,
So it really doesn't matter.
So it really doesn't matter.
So it really doesn't matter. So it really doesn't matter.
If I were not a little mad and generally silly, I should give you my advice upon the subject willy-nilly. I should show you in a moment how to grapple with the question, and you'd really be astonished at the force of my suggestion. Subject I shall write you a most valuable letter full of excellent suggestions when I feel a little better. But at present I'm afraid I am as mad as any hatter, so I'll keep them to myself, for my opinion doesn't matter.
Her opinion doesn't matter. Her opinion doesn't matter. Her opinion doesn't matter.
Her opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion doesn't matter.
Her opinion doesn't matter. Her opinion doesn't matter. If I had been so lucky as to have a steady brother who could talk to me as we are talking now to one another, who could give me good advice when he discovered I was erring, which is just the very favor which on you I am conferring, my existence would have made a rather interesting ill, and I might have lived and died a very decent individual. This particularly rapid, unintelligible patter isn't generally heard, and if it is, it doesn't matter.
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 This particularly rapid, unintelligible patter isn't generally heard, and if it is, it doesn't matter. This particularly rapid, unintelligible patter isn't generally heard, and if it is, it doesn't matter.
Bravo! That was just wonderful. And starting out with Jeanne at the piano, just as articulated as you could possibly be. Very, very nice. And all of the voices were just wonderful. Reason enough for you to go to see Ruddigore at the Gilbert and Sullivan Society production. And it's starting on the 14th, running through the 24th. The singers we just heard there were Shelby Schisler, the mezzo, fabulous mezzo, articulate as can be. I heard every single syllable. And Sam Johnson was bass baritone, and he plays the part of Sir Desmond Murgatroyd. What a name, Murgatroyd. And Arthur DiBianca was the baritone singing the part of Robin Oakapple or Sir Riven Murgatroyd. And just wonderful. I want to go now. And so you got to go and go to the website again at Rafis.
GilbertSullivan.org, and you can also reserve tickets by calling 512-474-5664.
And all of you singers out there, articulate as these people just did. They taught you a lesson on how to do it. Thanks so much. Our engineer, Cliff Hargrove, and I'm your host, John Neely on Eklektikos. This is 98.9 KUTX, your Austin music experience, and it can be anything.